Hello, YouTube Success Podcast. Welcome back for another episode. It is the start of 2026. So you probably shouldn't date episodes. People talk about this when it comes to podcast episodes. You shouldn't date them. But actually, I think we're in season 3. I think we're going to call this season 3, right? Season 1 was the dedicated time of 6 months of consistency, doing one every week. Season 2 was the inconsistent period of not being consistent. And then season 3, right now, what you're seeing, episode 2 of season 3, is the consistent period for 2026, because we're not going to stop this year. I'm committed to not stopping this year. And actually, that's what I wanted to talk about on this episode, is consistency, because there's a few things people say that you need when it comes to YouTube. One of them is obviously some kind of expertise, right? You need to show up and have some kind of expertise. Even if you're in the entertainment niche, you still need to be a good presenter and you need to be able to catch people's attention and all that kind of good stuff. But it largely comes to having some kind of expertise. And then the other thing that you need is consistency, or I like to say commitment, really, because consistency is one word and it's about, showing up and doing stuff every single week. But it's really a commitment. It's a commitment to your audience, you guys listening on this podcast right now. And then it's a commitment to yourself, to say, actually, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, which is quite a difficult thing. I can tell you, being an overweight business owner, having that commitment to yourself and not always doing what you say you're going to do is definitely something that's a challenge. And I wanted to start this episode with challenges, really. When we're talking about consistency and commitments, what are the things that we find the biggest challenges? And I'm only going to do it from a selfish point of view. By the way, if you've not been here before, make sure you go and subscribe on YouTube. You'll get notified. We publish the YouTube videos are going to be published a day before the podcast episodes. So if you want to get these fast, then you should go to YouTube and do that. The reason why I do that, by the way, is because when I put the show notes out, if I don't have a published YouTube episode, I can't add it to the show notes, the video to the episode. It doesn't work in that way. So I have to publish the episode first. So it's actually by design, I have to do it that way. But I also thought it's quite nice if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you can get the episode first. That's a good way to do it. I didn't turn the sound off of my laptop, so now I can hear it binging. Apologies if you can hear that as well. So let's talk about challenges then. What are the biggest challenges that stop people being committed and showing up and being consistent when it comes to YouTube? I'm going to share it from my point of view. So the first one is my environment. I don't have my office set up at the moment. I've been away in America for 8 days and I come back and I know that I need to clean my office. And not only do I need to clean my office and set it up again, we're in the midst of talking about having a podcast studio, creating a podcast studio here in Leicester. And I know that if I spend the time setting up my office and getting it looking beautiful and just how I want it, within the next month, I'm going to be moving all of that into a podcast studio. But I can't really wait. People seem to put things aside. I can't wait. I've got to do one or the other, and I've got to move quickly. So my environment is not great. And when your environment is not great, it's easy to use that excuse to stop you doing things. So consistency-wise, having a good environment, making sure your environment is set up so you can just go and start straight away, is something that's super, super important. So that's one of the problems I've got. The other problem I've got is time. As I said, I've been away for 8 days. When I came back from being away, I had 1,500 emails to go through, and I can't just select all and delete. Some of them are important, some of them I've got to reply to, some of them require actions. So actually, I've got about 2 days of work getting through those emails and taking action on those emails. So I don't have time. I know people talk about time and they say it and they don't really mean it, but I really do mean that I don't have time. So I've got to find some dedicated time. And actually, the time that I'm using right now, my wife's gone to get my daughter from school, so she's out of the house, so I've got the house to myself. I had a meeting at 2:30 and I've got a meeting at 3:30. So I've got this half an hour chunk just to get this episode done. So I'm just finding the time where I can. That half an hour time, usually I'd go and get a coffee and do various different bits and bobs. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and get this done. I've got to get this done before tomorrow. I've got to publish this one today on YouTube and publish the rest, the actual main episode tomorrow. And then another thing that occurred to me, especially if you're like me, you've not been showing up very much, I lack confidence. I know if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, Matt, this is episode 36. I think 36. You might think to yourself, Matt, how do you lack confidence? You've been doing, this is episode 36. You're the king of video. You've done thousands of videos in front of camera since 2018, public speaking around the world, all of those things. How can you lack confidence in 2026? And the truth of the matter is, when you show up on camera, when you're filming in front of a camera, just like I am now, obviously you guys on the podcast won't see that, but when I'm filming, I call it like training the courage muscle. An old coach of mine used to say this, and I loved it. It's like training the courage muscle. You've got to keep training that courage muscle to keep yourself at the top of your confidence. And I'm not there. I'm not at the top of my confidence. I feel awkward in front of the camera at the moment. I'm overweight and my weight is playing on my mind. I'll talk about Fat to Fit later on as well. This time of the year is always the time of the year where I try to get in shape. And when we're talking about consistency here, it's another thing that I've failed on so many times in so many ways in my life, and my weight is one of them. So confidence-wise, I'm probably as low as I can be, but I'm committed to myself, I'm committed to my audience, and I'm committed to making sure that this podcast continues for the rest of the year, hopefully the next 5 years, to make sure that it grows at the level it deserves to grow. I believe that we're helping people. The feedback I get is that I'm helping people when it comes to YouTube, so why can't we continue this? So the confidence thing is a tough one, because the only real way you get over it is by showing up and by being courageous and showing up when you least want to show up and being vulnerable. You know, like I talk about a lot of this stuff quite openly. I know a lot of people wouldn't talk about their weight or anything like that. Like sometimes it feels hard to talk about those vulnerable things, and even showing up on camera is being vulnerable. So of course that is one of those things that your brain will say, no, I don't need to do this today. I could do anything else other than this today. So unfortunately, the only way to get over that is by showing up and doing it. Now, I have got something for you that can help you with this. If you're in that position from a confidence point of view, I don't know if any of you know about vibe coding. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode. I've been talking about it so much, I don't know where I'm at. Vibe coding is where you talk to ChatGPT and you create an app, right? Oh yeah, I did talk about it because I talked about WinJar the last thing. So we created WinJar, and if you watch the last episode, this was about us celebrating our achievements, right? I'll link to it in the show notes for this one as well. It was about celebrating our achievements. You can go there, you can get a free account, and it asks you to celebrate 3 achievements every single day. It's a great way to just keep yourself motivated and remind yourself about the things that you are winning at every single day. So I did that, and then one of the other things that I did is we used to have a course called the Shorts Challenge, and the Shorts Challenge was like a 7-day free challenge just to start, and then I would give you encouragement of what you want to film, and you would go away and film a YouTube short. Something a minute or less is what I kind of tried to encourage people to do. And it was just about helping people be consistent, helping people show up, be courageous, all of those good things. But it was a course. You bought the course. I think we had it as a small fee. You bought the course and it just guided you through it. So I've done the same thing with the Shorts Challenge, but I've gamified it a little bit more. I've built an app out of it, and hopefully this makes it a little bit more interactive in the way it performs. So I'm actually going to add in some videos in there. I'm going to improve it over time. But right now you can go and get a free version of it, and you get 5 days, a 5-day shorts challenge. So it's like go and do a shorts video every single day for 5 days. It helps you track those videos. There's a little feed where you can put the videos in there, and we can support you as you're doing those things. So if you're concerned about confidence and you want to show up on camera and you think, how can I get started doing this when I don't really know what to talk about, all of that, then the Shorts Challenge is a good way to do this. The link will be in the show notes as well. So I just wanted to give you that. There's a premium version, there's a premium version of every piece of software there is out there. There's a 90-day Shorts Challenge, a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. So you can pay for those and do it for 90 days if you want. But really my gift to you is to go and try it for 5 days. I'd love some people to give it a go, do the shorts videos for 5 days, and just come back and say what they achieved. You know, talk to us in the app. Let me know how you're getting on, all that kind of stuff. So if confidence is one of those problems, that's a good way to get over this. And then the final challenge I have really is that I don't have systems and processes or staff. I think when you're coming to create a podcast or a YouTube channel and create YouTube videos, having systems and processes is super important. I read a post today by a guy called Owen, really a big YouTuber, 1.5 million subscribers. And he said about the fact that you should outsource your thumbnails as soon as possible. You should outsource your editing as soon as possible. You should get somebody to do the systems-based stuff for you, which I totally agree. It is the right move to get rid of all of those, what we call in the business world, the £10 tasks, the easy things you can give someone else, pay them a tenner an hour and they can do them for you, because then you can just focus on showing up and being here and delivering your genius. Challenge with that is you have to, in some ways, define the process, whether that's filming the process and sharing it with someone. People do Loom videos, they send it to someone, they'll get them transcribed, and then someone will write a proper SOP, standard operating procedure, which is, you know, how most people will follow a process. And you can do that kind of stuff, and that's great, but you've got to do it in the first instance. You've got to know what you're doing. Like sometimes, well, certainly with this podcast, we used to have a really defined process. When I did those 6 months every single month, a video every single week, we had a well-defined process. I had a VA that I would give the podcast to. She would go and edit them, and away she went. When I reviewed this last year and I was just looking through all the episodes, I realized the sound quality on all the videos was so bad. There's a thing in Descript called Studio Sound. You just turn it on. And when you turn it on, it should improve the quality of your sound. Now, I use decent mics anyway, so the sound quality should be good. What the Studio Sound actually did is made the sound quality worse. It kept cutting off words, all that kind of stuff. So if you listen to the first 30 episodes, you'll know that that's the case. I don't use Studio Sound anymore. It was clipping the sound so badly and it was making the sound so bad that I just don't use it. I don't need to. If it was me doing that, I would have noticed that straight away and stopped using it. I would have listened to it back and went, no, this is not right. But because I outsourced it really quickly, they didn't have that level of quality and understanding to make sure that that was like top notch. You know, audio is so important. That's the most important thing when it comes to video and podcasting, that we shouldn't have messed that up really. But there it was in plain sight, you know, 30 episodes where the sound quality was not great. I don't know if I can fix that now. Maybe I can go back retrospectively, but I certainly can't on YouTube. I'd have to republish those videos. So anyway, my point was about systems. So having those systems, making sure all of those kind of things are pointed out. If you're going to create a process around all of this, you've got to be really clear on all of those steps. If the set, you know, make sure you check the sound, make sure someone quality assures the first few episodes to make sure like everything's top. Like if you just don't have that, again, you can look at this idea of filming a YouTube video or a podcast and think, damn, this is going to take me ages. This is going to take more time. Remember, one of my first challenges with time, like if I don't have time to film it, how am I going to have time to do all of this stuff as well? But I've just decided that I needed to dedicate the time. I know I've got the time in the day. I know it exists. It might not be all linear. I might not be able to do it in the, you know, I'm going to spend 1 hour and get it all done in that 1 hour. It might be like 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But if I'm committed to the output, if I'm committed to the dates, then I know that I'll get it done in the right way, even without a full proper system. So finally, the last couple of things that I wanted to share with you, from the point of the shorts challenge, I'm on this health and wellness journey at the moment. Who knows how long it will last. Last year it lasted 2 months. I did a really great job. I lost 20 pounds in those 2 months, which is about 1.5 stone. And then life got in the way and I put it all back on the year after. I'm really determined this year to not let that happen. And I'm just going easy on myself as like, okay, let's just see what happens. But I'm doing that on a channel called Matt Fat to Fit. I'll link it in the description. I said I wouldn't tell anybody about this, but the reason why I want to share this with you is what I do is every day in a imperfect way, I document the food and drink that I have. Well, the food largely. I'm not documenting the coffee as I have, for example, which I probably should, but at the minute it's just mainly food. And really this is about me holding myself accountable. I did it last year as well. You can see all the old videos on there. Holding myself accountable of everything that I put in my mouth, in my gob, as a local Leicester person would say. And the reason why I'm sharing that account with you is because I'm committed to do that imperfectly. I do a short form video every day and I post it, and I just post like the weight loss that I've got during that time. And I'm sharing that with you just to show that you can be consistent daily too. If you do the shorts challenge, that's the way you can try this and get some encouragement. But you know, following Matt Fat to Fit and seeing my journey there might help you, encourage you that yes, you can do an imperfect video like that on a shorts, not be worried about views and subscribers and all that kind of thing. I am picking them up as well. And then you can do a better production like this YouTube Success podcast once a week and still fit all of those things in. Daily videos are very, very hard to do. It takes a lot of commitment to commit to it, which is why the shorts challenge has a 5-day a 30, 60 and 90 day, because it's a big commitment. But if you get it right, it can really help across multiple things that you're doing. Another thing that's helping me, the last couple of things now, is non-negotiables. What are your weekly non-negotiables? So for me right now, my non-negotiable is having a daily video for my Fat to Fit account, having my weekly podcast, and then a bunch of other things that I've got as part of my business and that kind of thing for non-negotiables. So what are your non-negotiables? And the best way to do this is to decide on what they are and then put a good, better, best. So another non-negotiable for me is going for a walk. So what we said when we go for a walk is that we need to do 6,000 steps. 6,000 steps is about an hour's walk. That is my good version. My better version of that is 8,000 steps, about an hour and 20 minutes. And my best version is 10,000 steps, which is often seen as an arbitrary number, but it's a recommended amount of steps that you should do. I know that 6 to 10,000, there's not a massive amount of benefit between those two numbers. So if I say my good is an hour's walk, my better is an hour and 15 minutes, something like that, and my best is an hour and a half, which would be the 10,000, then I know I'm good. So setting those goals, what's my good? Well, I could do a video every day. My good might be a video every other day for my shorts. My better might be like a video every weekday and giving myself the weekend off. And my best might be every day of the week, right? So think about those. How can you set your good, better, best for whatever your non-negotiables are, and to commit to that and be consistent with that thing? And then finally, my last point about all of this from a consistent and committed point of view is to make it easy for you. Having this Osmo Pocket, again, I'll link the Osmo Pocket creator combo in the description. By the way, it's the Osmo Pocket 3, and people are talking about the Osmo Pocket 4 coming out. There's every chance it might come out, but please don't wait to get it. They've been talking about it for about a year, and it hasn't happened. Now, all those people that have waited a year for the new one to come out have just not had the device. Get the device and either chop it in and sell it and resell it or whatever if you want to upgrade later on. But don't wait. The Osmo Pocket 3 that I'm filming this on allows me to film anywhere. It tracks my movement. If you're watching on YouTube now, just move left and right. You'll see it tracks my movement. It's a beautiful thing. It films in 4K. I can take it with me everywhere. I've got this little pouch. Again, on YouTube, you will be able to see the little pouch that I'm holding up. It's like a vanity case. If you're a woman, you have these, some women have these vanity cases that they stick makeup in. It's a similar sort of size. It's a small sort of a small size bag, but you can keep it. I keep it in my rucksack all the time. Everywhere I go, I take my rucksack with me, my laptop in it, and I keep that with me. I can put it on my desk. I've got it now on a desk. I can walk and talk with it. It's mobile. I can do podcast episodes with multiple people. I just have to get another mic. I can do interviews, all that stuff. If you can have something like that, your mobile phone is the other alternative to this, by the way. Just a mobile phone and a tripod of some description. Like, that's all you need. Make it easy. The way consistency works is by making it easy. I already decided with Matt Fat to Fit that it was going to be imperfectly produced. I wasn't going to have loads of stuff on there, like flashy titles. It didn't matter if the video quality was a bit crap. I just decided on the format, like show what I'm having, breakfast, lunch, dinner, have a title image on there, have captions that are generated by CapCut. It takes me about 10 minutes in an evening to generate it, upload it to YouTube, and then change the thumbnail. That's it. It's a real quick process because I didn't want it to be at the end of the day where I spent too much time in it being laborious and for me to want to skip it because it was too late. And when I did this before last year, I managed to do almost a full 60 days where I was doing really well on my weight loss. I think I missed like 1 or 2 days during that period because I was committed to this imperfect action and because I made it as easy as possible for me to succeed. So that's it. Thanks so much for listening to this YouTube Success podcast. Of course, I should mention Tube Fest. Tube Fest is coming April the 24th and 23rd. If you want to come to the workshops, don't forget to come and join us there. Use the coupon code podcast when you check out to get an extra special discount. Don't forget to join us in the WhatsApp group. We've had some people now join us. I'm so delighted for those of you that have come and joined us in the WhatsApp group. It's great to have a community that is building in that side of that WhatsApp group and to get to know some of you listeners as well. And I think that's everything. I really appreciate your time and attention on this podcast episode, and I will see you and you will hear from me next week. Bye-bye.